morning. We're coming to you live from the Guyana National Stadium in the lead up to International Building Expo 2022. Join us as we give you daily updates on what is to come on this much anticipated event. We'll now join the Honorable Minister Colin Crowe for an update on what is to come.
We're just 4 days away from the highly anticipated 2022 International Building Expo. Let's give the public a feel of what's happening here at the Guyana National Stadium and what they can expect.
Right, so the 4 days away may look like a long time, but it's just minimum time available. We're on track in terms for completion of the booth. As you can see here Monday morning, it's lots of activities. And so over the next 2 days, we are intending to complete all the arrangements in terms of putting out the logistics in place. And so one can get a feel even when you come tomorrow night of what it's like to feel of a real international exhibition. And so this expo will be the largest expo. We're expecting both local and international visitors, thousands of persons, hundreds of thousands of persons. We're expecting to come and feel the effect of what Guyana is, both in the present, the modern day construction and building, as well as for the future. We have a tunnel that will give you Guyana's vision for 2030. So when you walk through there, you will have a realization of what this vision is for Guyana. The transformation in terms of our infrastructure, massive infrastructure projects, and the benefit to our citizens in terms of feeling a country that is evolving, that is transforming every day. No doubt as a result of the investment that came about initially from the oil and gas sector, but certainly from a government perspective that we want a better Guyana.
The only building expo in the region. Who is going to be here in terms of personality and companies?
Right, so we have over 25 international companies that are coming here. When you take in consideration across CARICOM as well as further afield, so you have for countries from, for example, St. Lucia, Trinidad and Tobago, Barbados, Trinidad. We also have from United States of America, Canada, Ghana, even Ghana. And so those are some of the countries from where international companies are coming from. Locally, we have a cross-sectional of persons that have purchased booths. So we have, for example, if you're talking about construction, obviously we have contractors themselves. We have, in terms of design, so you have a lot of persons who have signed up, want to show their creativity. If you want to give you an option of when you want to come up with your own design for your housing, be modernized. So we have architects who are on board, of course hardware stores, a number of furniture stores and furniture businesses on board, as well as the financial institutions, because we can't talk about home construction, we can't talk about home ownership without talking about how can you evolve into making your life easier to be able to access and to be able to acquire your own home. So the financial institutions are on board. In fact, two of the major banks, Republic Bank and GBTI, are part of our corporate sponsors. And so they'll be here in a major way. And even in the case of GBTI, they plan to have, on the final day, for a car for one lucky person who has qualified for a loan. So all in all, we also have persons who are interested in terms of transportation, construction. We have the equipment zone. So you can see various types of equipment on board that persons are bringing into the country to make available for rental or even sale. And so we have that equipment zone that will be to the further north of here at the Guyana National Stadium. And in addition to that, on the southern part, one can experience our model houses. You have houses from different persons. You have 3 houses from the Central Housing and Planning Authority on what we normally build. So you have the moderate, you have the young professional houses. Then you have the much talked about 2 of the houses. One has to do with using 100% recycle of plastic, and so they compact it and you have the blocks. So these are prefab houses, so you have one demonstration in that regard. And then you also have the much touted and talked about 3D design housing. So those are 2 of the excitements. And then we also have the model house that was designed for Barbados. We have collaboration with Barbados, so you have that house on board too. And there are 2 other companies of the type of houses that they're offering. So persons will have an option of houses that they would like to future own, because you realize this is matched with our home ownership, our dream, and our allocation exercise. Even here, we are going to make at least 5,000 persons happy over the weekend in the allocation of house lots. And that is part of our macro 14,000 that we intend to deliver this year of 2020.
5,000 house lots. So people are also coming to look for the government constructed houses. What assurances can you give to them?
So there's a system for those houses, because we have a team on board, and persons who are interested in the government housing, they have to be able to have a certain ability, and then we send that on to the banks for pre-qualification. The banks, as I said, will be here, so they can have a direct input with the banks. But a lot of persons recognize the cost for housing, because we're having a demand, obviously a demand more than the supply. And that is why we are happy that there are other companies on board to showcase what they have. So the offer will not be only for government housing, but also for private companies who have their own housing for sale. So there will be collaboration, and of course those persons, they must come through our system as to clear our backlog in ensuring that over 50,000 eventually can benefit from whether a lot or from a housing.
Final question from me. 1 second, Dennis. Minister, could you say if there's still booths available and if the Building Expo is being hosted on budget?
So well, you will realize this is a massive expo, and we've invested a lot. In fact, we have even transformed this stadium a little, because you've noticed we've developed the equipment zone, and we did some sand filling so that we can ensure that it's not affected by rainfall. Over here you see there's a redesign of this area. The stadium is going to benefit for this in future. And so even as we always have our Dream Realized activities here, so these are for future collaboration too. In terms of booths, we have over 320 booths. They're all taken, saving and except about 3 outdoor booths, and so that's the minimum amount that is available right now. The food court in itself is all gone. And so we've had the issue of spacing because of the amount of persons who want to be on board. And so, as I've said in a previous interview, we also want this to be a family atmosphere, for a family to come, walk through, to look at some of the options that are available for them for part of their future planning. This is not just about today. This is helping you to give you as much information as possible, making you aware of new technologies, new development for your own home ownership, and even for transforming your existing home to do existing repairs and making changes. This is to provide as much information as possible. We want every person who is interested in whether it's home ownership, whether it's in building for private sector, everyone can learn from this expo.
What is the condition, what is the infrastructural condition like of the house lots that you are distributing?
So these are all for areas that what we call virgin lands. So the infrastructure work will form part of our 2023 work program. As you've known how it has been done in the past, and because of the backlog, and we have over 50,000 we've committed, we've already allocated about 11,700. So what happens is that we do the allocation in advance, in preparation. We have the designs, and we go out to tender by the end of the year, and it forms part of our new year budget program.
What will be the infrastructure developments for those areas, just for the benefit of the listeners?
The areas that are being allocated have not been developed as yet.
So when you develop them, what would you be putting in?
So there will be first phase infrastructure, and as I said, these are all virgin lands. So some of them for those to be allocated will be former sugarcane land, and so we have to put the road networking, we do the drainage, put the culverts in place as well for the water, pipe connection for the water, and eventually for the so after first phase,
be sure to visit the Guyana National Stadium starting Friday, July 22nd for the International Building Expo. Stay tuned to our page for daily updates.